that's what teams need to do to reboot themselves for the 2021 season. Now, today we are continuing our coverage of the AFC North. Earlier this week, we talked about the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cleveland Browns. So now it is on you, Cincinnati Bengals. Let's take a look at their offseason so far. All eyes will be on Joe Burrow as he returns from his knee injury. Plus, wideout AJ Green leaves, and in his place is Burrow's former LSU teammate, Jamar Chase. NFL.com is continuing our State of the Franchise series, in which Adam Rank asked one simple question. In order to compete in 2021, the Cincinnati Bengals need to do blank, MJD.
Well, to me, it's all about the defense. At the end of the day, you can score as many points as you want to, but if the other team scores more, which pretty much happened to the Bengals last year, then you're struggling. They're 22nd in points per game, allowing 26.5 points per game, 31st in yards per carry, and dead last in sacks. That means you're not getting the third down. You're not getting the quarterback and the other team off the field. And to me, that is a big issue. Joe Burrow and this offense, they were lighting up, doing some great things. But if you have to score 40, 45 points a game, you're not going to be able to do that consistently. And so to me, this offseason should have been all about building this defense back up, which we saw some of their additions with Trey Hendrickson, Larry Ogunjobi, and Chidobe Awuzie. I think they're going in the right direction. Will I say they'll be dominant this year? I don't know. But I think they're starting to move in the right direction, bettering that defense for the betterment of that team.
I'm going to piggyback MJD here, and it's not just be better defensively, it's going to be finding that chemistry defensively, and that's going to be on defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo, who you've got to give an incomplete grade to last year because they signed some guys like DJ Reader and Trey Waynes. Waynes didn't play at all. He got hurt in the preseason. Reader got hurt 5 games in. They also had Geno Atkins struggling with an injury all year long. And then this offseason, you alluded to it, MJD, the guys that they added, Chidobe Awuzie being one of them, Mike Hilton being another one, Eli Apple, a cornerback, he comes in, Ogunjobi, Trey Hendrickson. I mean, there are so many. I don't think I've ever seen a defense that has been built on free agents over a 2-year period the way that this team has. I mean, your starting corners are going to be Trey Waynes, Chidobe Awuzie, Mike Hilton. They may be your top 3 corners. None of them played a snap for you last year. So what Anarumo and the Bengals coaching staff tried to do this spring is say, hey, even if we're going at half speed, 3/4 speed, whatever, just get these guys here, get them to get some mental reps so that when they come back for training camp, they have something they can build upon. They didn't have that last year. There wasn't an offseason last year. So Anarumo really going to be able to put his stamp on this defense this upcoming season. And if he gets all these pieces to come together and work, this could be a really good defense.
They added a lot of players, Mike, like you say. I'm going to go to the prom of adding players. For this season to be a success, they're going to have to look back in the 2021 draft and say, we did it, guys. We made the right choice. This was the move. Jamar Chase, you got to be a star right now. The Bengals, to their credit, I think they decided in the draft to treat themselves. They did not make a practical purchase. They did not get a lineman. They said, screw it. We don't want to put tires on the car. We want to put a spoiler and a new sound system. And they get the crazy great receiver who reunites with Joe Burrow, as we know. I think the comp right now, unfortunately, for Jamar Chase is that we just watched what Justin Jefferson did last year, dude. And wasn't he the number 2 to your number 1 in LSU, right down to the fact that he even wore 2 and you wore 1? Well, he just set the rookie record playing with Kirk Cousins in a dome who we never knew before. Now you're in the AFC with your college quarterback, and we heard you're the greatest thing ever. You got to go big. That was a controversial draft pick. They could have put a first-round lineman in front of Burrow. They decided to go with the Lightning. I respect it. I would have done the same thing. But he's got to be a player, and he's got to be a player fast. This is the draft pick that will be remembered victoriously or infamously. Jamar Chase, got to be a star.
You know, I'm happy these 2 former LSU Tigers get to be reunited, but the big thing here is protecting your quarterback. That's exactly why Joe Burrow suffered that knee injury, and we're hoping that he is fully healthy and able to really take this Bengals offense to the next level. We forget, though, before that knee injury, he was sacked 32 times. That was 32 times before he got injured. That's at the time, the third most in the NFL. That team last season was entirely on his shoulders. We talk about Jamar Chase kind of being a little bit of a controversial pick because they need O-line additions to really protect the guy they took first overall 2 drafts ago. Now, Joe Burrow, he threw an average of 40.4 pass attempts per game last year. That was the most by a rookie, not only last season, but the most by a rookie in NFL history. They're going to need to keep him upright to actually succeed. Now, while they did not go and spend their 5th overall pick to pick up a lineman, like Kyle said, instead they got Jamar Chase, they did spend their 2nd rounder this year on guard Jackson Carman from Clemson. They also bought in Iowa tackle, go Hawks, Riley Reif in free agency, and they still have hope for 2019 first rounder Jonah Williams, who's played just 10 games over his first 2 seasons due to injury. So if we talk about the Cincinnati Bengals really needing to compete next season, it's making sure Joe Burrow is protected. Lots of interesting things happening in that division. I really hope that Joe Burrow actually gets his shot to have a full season, and we see if that Jamar Chase addition helped out. And like Mike and MJD said, can that defense step up to make this a complete team? We will have to see. Cincinnati, you're on the clock. We want you to be great, so please live up to that expectation. Now, the Buccaneers defense, they were pretty darn